we have a chance to meet Jan Olbrycht, the Euro deputy, who decided to support us with his expert point of view about democracy and being a person who represents the power of the people voice in European Parliament. So we are here in Poronin, and let's have time to debate, to talk about more about democracy, and have time with Eurodeputee to share a little bit more. Okay, so I give the voice to you, Mr. Jan Olbrycht, and let's start.
All right. Okay. So okay. All the best. My best wishes from Strasbourg. I'm in the plenary session of European Parliament. I see that you have the snow in Poronin. We have also a very exceptionally snow in Strasbourg. It was not such a snow in Strasbourg for about 15 years. So this is very exceptional. And you are in a place which, for my generation, was very linked first to the ski, to the summer holidays, but also to Lenin from the communist time, who spent his time in Poronin. So it was quite old story, but politically very symbolic. When you speak about the democracy, you know, I'm sociologist by profession, working in politics for about 32 years, and starting with the mayor of the city, and next going to the president of region, and next member of the parliament. And of course, there are different levels and different kinds of democratic participation of the people. When you look at democracy, democracy, like all the big philosophers, they said that the democracy is not the ideal system, but maybe this is the best system which exists. It means that we have some idealistic image of democracy. We know, and we hope, and we dream, of course, that democracy is the system which allows to make the best people to be elected and to represent the people from the city, region, or from country, or from the whole Europe. This is the ideal and very idealistic point of view, that this mechanism allows the best, the most trustful people to be in a position to represent the others. And as you know, this idealistic image is not always true. It's not always true. It means that very often the democratically elected people are not the best people, but the very democratically elected people very often are the people who represent the political parties. So this democratic system is not a system like the ancient Greece, when we had the meeting of the people in the square, and decided to say anything about this. By the way, not all the people, but only the free people. But this democratic system today is mainly based on political parties, and political parties which represent the people's interest. And of course, these political parties, they can have a different character, different goals, different methods, etc. So I think to understand the democracy today, and for example, the European democracy and the European Parliament, you have to see that the 100% of activities which are in European institutions, in European Parliament, is based on political parties, because this is the starting with the election system. For example, when you have in different member states, there are different kinds of elections. Some of them are direct elections, so it means that people are directly elected, like, for example, in Poland, mayors, presidents of regions, or the senators. They are elected directly by the people. But in the Parliament and the European Parliament, all the elections are based on proportional method. It means that the only body which is eligible to present the candidates is the party, political party, or the association, but mainly political parties. Then they propose the list of candidate. Of course, now the problem starts. The question is, in democracy, and I hope that you, during your workshop, you also should think about it. I mean, the question is, if we have someone on the political list for the election, which we know is not honest, is not correct, it's someone who is not very positive, who is responsible for it? I mean, very often the politicians, we as politicians, we say, sorry, but the people voted for him or for her. But in fact, it's not the people who are responsible. Who is responsible for the candidate? Of course, political party is responsible. Because if the political party puts someone who is not correct, who is not honest on the political list, the citizens, they have no possibility to change the list. So I think that this is one of the elements of the today's democracy, that everything is based on the functioning of political parties, which have different goals, different methods. The task of each political party is to win the elections. This is the specificity of political party. So if political party is in the government, of course, this is one thing. If political parties in the opposition, this is different. But anyway, this is the element of functioning of political party. The political party is to fight for power. This is the specificity. If very often the young people, they said that, you know, politics is dirty. I mean, the politics is dirty. Politics is not what we can live with. Sorry, the whole system of the authorities and public management is based on politics. I remember that some of my colleagues from business, they told me, you politicians, you are making your dirty job, but we are giving money and we earn the money. And I said, sorry guys, but you know, who is deciding about taxes? Who is deciding about the going into the conflict? Who is deciding about going to the war? Is it business or is it politicians? No, I mean, the political world is deciding on many of things. So I think that's why we need in politics, in political parties, people who we can trust. But so first element, when we would like to understand the democratic system today, the system democratic today is based on functioning in each of the member states, political parties. When we look at the European Parliament, as I said, when you look at each element of functioning of European Parliament is based on political parties. First, we have voting with the lists. And of course, the difference is, for example, in Poland, we have the so-called open list. So you can vote for whoever you want. I mean, on name. In some of the member states in Europe, this is the closed list. So the people are not voting for the person, the people are voting for the name of the party. And the name of the party, and next the party has the list. And of course, who enters is first one, second one, depending of number of votes. It confirms what I said, that in this system is not only the names, the persons who counts, but in fact, in this system, what really counts is the power of each political party. Next, when we finish the elections, everything in the parliament is based on the power of the political parties. I mean, bigger group, political group, means more personnel, more assistance. It means more space for working. It means more money for functioning and for promotion. It means more positions like president, vice president, etc. Everything depends on the result of the elections. When you look at the European institutions, I mean, European Council, Council of EU, and you have the European Parliament and European Commission. The question is, who decides who is the president of this or that institution? Like, for example, today, we have the president of European Council. I can answer you very quickly. This is the result of the elections and which political party decides. For example, European Council, who is Charles Michel? Charles Michel is the former Prime Minister of Belgium. He is liberal. Who is the Ursula von der Leyen, the head of European Commission? She is Christian Democrat. Who is the president of the European Parliament today? Roberta Metsola is Christian Democrat because the former president was socialist. So, you know, this decision who will take the position of each of that institution is also depending of the power of the political party. Of course, the question of who will be the next president of the European Commission, depending on the elections in 24. If the EPP, Christian Democratic Party, which I belong to, if we win the elections, of course, it's probably the president of the Commission will be from EPP, from our party. If we lose the elections, the president of the Commission will be from different party. So this is the something. The system is quite logic, and of course, this is a system which reflects the real division of power in Europe. That's why political parties are fighting each other. So that's why the system is quite. The system should have a very clear rules. But what is the other element of democracy? And of course, when you look at the European treaties, you can read in the treaties what is the model of democracy which is functioning in EU. Model of democracy. This is very important because there are different models of democracy around the world. Not very long time ago, we thought that this is only one model of democracy. This is the time when we were after the Second World War. The whole world think it is important to have one model of democratic world. Unfortunately, the system is changing. We have the Chinese model, which is different. We have for example, the Indian model, which is different. We have now recently what proposes Russia, what they call democracy, which is completely different. And of course, we have something which we thought is universal is not anymore. This is what we call the liberal democracy. The people who don't understand, they think the liberal democracy is the democracy of liberals. This is absolutely simplified. This is not about this. The liberal democracy model means that first we have the very clear, transparent model of elections. I mean, there's transparent, and each political party can have in a very transparent way the possibility to win. Secondly, the liberal democracy model, it means respect for the opposition. Respect for the opposition. I mean, if the opposition is not respected, for example, in the accession to media, if the accession to the another possibilities, I mean, to the decision making, I mean, at least to see what is going on, if it's not functioning, we have the dictatorship of majority. Dictatorship of majority. It means that we won, we decide. That's it. So this is not democratic system. This is the system we won, we decide, is not liberal democracy. This is a kind of autocratic system, people who are democratically elected. They are elected democratically, and now they are not Democrats anymore. They are just saying, we won the election, now we will decide about media, about judges, about the about schools, about enterprises, because we won. No, this is not liberal democracy. Liberal democracy is to respect also the rights of the opposition. Another element is a very important division of competences, power, and responsibility between the political power, administrative power, and I mean the justice system. The system should be absolutely independent. Independent. This is also the element of liberal democracy. So when you look at the European Treaty, you can see in the Article 2 that the European Union is based on the basic values and liberal democracy. So not a very long time ago, it seemed to be clear, but unfortunately, in some of the member states, it's now been completely changed. For example, in Hungary and Poland. So, so this is this situation. So, going to the possibility for you asking questions, what I wanted to say is, democracy in general, this is the system which gives more possibilities, and it gives the possibilities to create a very just, obvious, and transparent system. But of course, it's not just automatically, because the people can be elected democratically and the next day are not Democrats anymore. Secondly, I said that the democratic system is not only choosing the best people, and where is the responsibility? Responsibility is political parties who proposes the candidates. Next, the democratic system is the question of respecting the opposition in each country, and of course, a clear division of competences and responsibilities in member states. In consequence, in all democratic systems, democratic states, and inside the European Union, the whole system is based on political parties' power, and of course, the consequence that this who win has more possibilities, but this who lose, they have less possibilities, but they are still respected, and they have the possibility to participate in the whole process. That's it, and I'm waiting for your questions.
So thank you very much. And now there's the question. The first question. Yes, please. So yeah. What do you think about the lack of rule of law in Poland?
Yeah, but you know, you have to understand that I am in the opposition in Poland. So I think that because I am in opposition, of course, I'm trying to show the whole situation in Poland. The rule of law is the question of system. It's not that someone is breaking the law. This is not a discussion about the rule of law. For example, if in one country like Slovakia, someone killed the journalist, Does it mean that the rule of law is broken? No. When we speak about the rule of law, we're speaking about the whole system. If the system is well organized, if the judges are independent, if the courts are independent, if they can make the decision independently without the political control, how the judges are nominated, are the judges punished for example, for asking European Court of Justice? If the system is not functioning, we say that the rule of law is not functioning correctly. So, and this is the case of Poland today. In Poland, the system of rule of law is not functioning correctly because we have real problems with the judiciary system, with the independence of of judges and courts, etc. The consequence is very, very important and serious, because if, for example, there is a conflict between the investors, I mean, someone is investing money, and of course, someone who is building, for example, something, this is the conflict between them. And of course, the question is, if they go to court. If the court is independent, so the court can decide according to the rules. If the court is under the political influence of this or that party, the investor and the person who is constructing it, they are not sure if the verdict will be just, will be correct. So because the judge is not independent, because he has the connections to the political party, this is very dangerous. It's not the question of lawyers, it's not the question of judges. This is the problem of the functioning of the rules, the rules in the country. So my question is, what do I think about the rule? I think that in Poland today, the system of rule of law is not functioning correctly. And there are very, very many loopholes, which makes that the whole system is not stable, and we have to absolutely reconstruct it. That's why the European institutions, not only European Commission or institution, they demand from Poland to change the system, to make the judges and the courts independent. This is the element, and like in Hungary. Why Hungary has problems? Because in Hungary, there are not legal instruments to fight corruption. So that's why the corruption is very high. But it's not that there is corruption. The question is, there are no legal instruments to fight corruption. So the European institutions, they ask Hungarians, please construct a very clear instrument to fight it. Because corruption is a problem for police. But the system, which is lacking the instrument, this is the problem of the rule of law. So this is just the explanation of what I think about the rule of law in Poland.
Okay, so what is the impact of the war in Ukraine on the EU budget?
Yeah, no, but the influence of war in Ukraine, we don't know yet what will the real consequences, but the war in Ukraine, in fact, that the attack of Russians on Ukraine has not only the European consequences, but they have the global consequences. This attack is in fact undermining the whole democratic system around the world. First, this is the question of Ukraine and the direct consequences. I mean, millions of Ukrainians who left the countries. Probably during the winter, there will be another millions who will escape because of the lack of electricity, water, etc. This is the one direct consequence of this. Second is destroying the country, destroying the infrastructure, and it will be extremely expensive to reconstruct it. Third consequence is, of course, the crisis, energy crisis, price of gas, petrol, etc. but also the political consequence of the, for example, functioning of United Nations. If one of the members of the Council, Security Council, is attacking another member, the question is, what about United Nations? We in the European Parliament, for us, to be very frank, is one of the most important elements. Why? Because, of course, that we take the political positions like resolution. We condemn Russia being a terrorist state. We propose to go to international court. But also we are trying to find money as European Parliament to support the Ukraine and to support immigrants from Ukraine in Europe. So for the Parliament, for the functioning of the Parliament is absolutely basic. But it's also the question of guaranteeing the cohesion of EU. The real goal of Putin is to destroy EU. The question is, are we really to be together, to work together, even if the people are tired? We see what is the war fatigue. So the Parliament is now working very, very closely together to show the one integrated position of the whole Europe vis-à-vis Ukrainians. Yesterday, for example, we gave the special Sakharov Prize for Ukrainian people. It was 2 days ago. 2 days ago, and it was also the speech of Zelensky online, etc. Of course, you can say that's symbolic, but this is also to keep the unity of the whole EU. The whole EU helping Ukraine against Russia. Because if we don't have unity, probably the European Union can be divided. European Union can be divided. It's possible. So the European Parliament political job is to keep the unity of the whole Europe, to make the people to be aware of the complexity. For Poland, it's clear. For Romania, it's clear. But for our colleagues in other countries, is not very clear. But I can surprise you. There was a research recently made by the sociologists in which country the people are ready to continue to support Ukrainian people the most. Which countries are the most, people in these countries which think that we should support Ukraine for the long term? The biggest number of people who are ready to support Ukraine was from Sweden and from Spain. It was about 60% of people. In Poland, 43, 45. So it means that the will to support Ukrainians, Romania is also about 50%. But this is very interesting that in some countries, the political will to help Ukrainians is higher and lower. And of course, what is surprising is Spain and Sweden. Sweden maybe less because they are very close to Russia, but not very high percent in our countries is quite surprising.
So I'm here with some technical things. So we have 5 minutes left on the official link that we sent you. So the question about your time, because as far as I know, we have more questions.
A lot of questions.
There is some more questions. So what about like your time, if you can spend more time with us? Because we need to send, in this case, another link.
I can have another 15 minutes, but not more.
15 minutes. So we have 4 minutes on this official link that it's already running, the Zoom. So if it's possible, we can send another link. Yes?
Okay.
To the mail, via mail?
Okay.
Through mail? Like on the mail?
Yes, to the mail, yes. Okay.
Okay.
So I can stay to 5 to 11 because I have to go to the plenary. So I have 10 other minutes. Okay.
Okay, everything clear. Also for the rest of the meeting, we are really grateful that we can have
Okay.
that. So we are ready for the next question, I think. So thank you.
In your opinion, what is the worst loophole in modern day democracy?
Sorry, I haven't heard it very well.
In your opinion, what is the worst loophole in modern day democracy?
The worst, sorry.
Loophole.
I mean, okay, so I think that in the modern democracy, this democracy is not I mean, our democracy we know is not very well prepared for social media, and I think that the social media are changing completely everything. I mean, the participation of the people, the speed of information, but also the possibility to create completely fake world and completely new source. So I think that in general, this democratic system are not prepared. When we now look at for example, the system of controlling the media non-officially, for example, the Pegasus system, which allows to control everybody. The consequence is that we can see that there are some companies around the world who are making the big business with the data. I mean, they are ready to sell millions of data of the people to someone what can influence the election system. So what was the case with the elections with Trump? It was made by with big data. So I think that when we ask me about the weak points or the loopholes, etc., I think that this democratic system is not prepared for the completely new challenges coming from social media. I think that this is a lot of work to be done. If not, nothing will be like before, and even the political elections can be completely produce unexpected results.
Okay, the attention is now, I think.
Hello, my name is Kasia and I'm from Latvia. And I would like to ask you a question. So in your Instagram, you have mentioned that we celebrate the day when the violence against women stops. Do you really think that there is no violence anymore?
You mentioned that this is about the violence
Against women.
Sorry.
Violence against women.
Yeah. I joined the campaign concerning the violence against women, and I think that this is absolutely the one of the problems which exist around the world, but also exist in Europe. There is no in many types of families, etc., it's not seen as a very negative element. So I think that I don't want to say that this is the kind of tradition, but I think that should be done everything to fight against the violence against women, something which exists unfortunately in some of the cultures, etc. So I think that I'm absolutely for all the legal, not legal, but also the campaign through media, social media. This is absolutely basic and it should be done because this is the sign of, I mean, the culture and civilization. I mean, we have to talk about it in a very open way because this is a problem.
Okay, and as I suppose it's the last question. Yes, we have the chance to Actually, I will show because it's not visible that we are more than we are more. So people are here on this side, people are here on this side. So it's a lot of new faces,
Yeah.
probably. They were listening all the time, and they were also participate. So it's not like only few people in the room. Okay. So the last question, if you want, yes, that's a chance. We have a time of our Euro deputy. So if you really. Okay.
Okay, but if you don't force anybody, so I think we can just close the meeting.
Not forcing. There is some small
Okay.
being shy a little. So.
Hello, my name is Avish. I am from Latvia. And my question to you is, how successful was your delegations with China from 2004 till 2009?
Okay, so yes, it's true that I was in the interparliamentary delegation, and of course I must say that it was a very interesting experience for me, but it also quite tough, because in our meetings with the Chinese parliamentarians, we were very clear, trying to explain them what are our expectations concerning the human rights, concerning the persecution of some of the groups, and to say that for us it's not only the economic success which is important, but also the human rights protection, the freedom of people, etc. We were quite clear, and I think that if we can say politically, this message from our side was very clearly sent to Chinese parliamentarians, that they ask us, for example, when do you lift the weapon embargo for China? And of course, we told them we can do it as soon as you stop breaking the human rights. And they said, but we have no problems with human rights because we make the report every year to United Nations. But the real problem was that they told us, the Chinese, that they have the Chinese system of human rights and we have a European system of human rights, and they are different. And I think this was very, very, very striking. And we were very clear to them, saying that we will do everything not to stop some elements as soon as they not respect the human rights. So this was the kind of typically parliamentary political approach. And I think that our success was this message has been sent to Chinese parliament as well. And now I have to finish, so I have to run to my, because I am at work, so I'm going to vote in a moment. So thank you very much. I envy you to be in Poronin at this time, but okay. This is your project and you have a good time. So thank you very much. Have a good time. And I hope that we'll have a chance to meet in another occasion as well. And I, of course, to our Armenian colleagues, I must say that we are very, very, very unsatisfied with the position of Austria. Because they were blocking the Brexit, the Schengen. They were blocking the Schengen for Romania. And I think this was absolutely scandalous that Romania has not been given the possibility to Schengen. I think that this is something which we Polish members, we express very clearly, and we hope that Romania will be in Schengen very quickly. This is what we are trying to do and to push. So thank you once again. Have a good time, and thank you for this meeting.
Thank you. A lot of good meetings. Thank you so much. Yeah.